Blue For You album, marketing campaign between Levi Jeans and
Oh,
Vertigo.
fucking hell. Well, it's sad, isn't it? I mean, we were telling the story some time ago, I reckon, probably 15, 20 years ago, going on, and someone said, oh, you had the first sponsorship deal. I mean, yeah. And we're both talking to camera. I said, yeah, da, 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 and then we both went, someone got some fucking money, didn't they? We were one of the first acts to do a deal with, and then it was with Levi, and we got some Levi. So we had a pair of jeans made each and a waistcoat and stuff. You look at the Blue For You cover; it's all handmade stuff, all it's made specifically for us. But that was the deal, and where it was good, you know, because I've always been aware you're trying to. You learn this thing. Everything you do is to try and further that, keep that name, to make that name, to make that name. You just keep doing it. And like you said, you keep them around long enough, suddenly, oh, they're all right, aren't they? And so to us, the fact that we had the sponsorship deal, this thing, and it was great. Our picture was everywhere. That was the thing. You could not go in a store in England without seeing those 4 or 5 dickheads in their denims looking at you from the wall. So that was good enough for us, but it wasn't until 15, 20 years after the event we went, someone got a few million for that, and we didn't even fucking ask, did we? It was dumb. But there's a lot of that, and that's why when people laughed about Sting losing his money to some accountant, so did you check your accountant this morning? No, I didn't. Right, well, why would you? It's like, I'm going to bank manager. I was going to check that he's behaving himself, or I've got everybody, but I'm going to check that. Alan Lancaster used to have this fabulous saying. We said we're the top of the tree in our field, don't we? And I always used to think of that Jonathan Livingston Seagull thing when his thing tries to get to the top of the tree in your field. Top of the tree. So why do we all think we can wander into another field and be big? Everybody in rock and roll makes money and says, right, I'm going to have a PA company now. No, you're a guitarist. That's what you know. Every Floyd, U2, we have amount of acts have done it. I think, yeah, we had limousine companies and private jets out and in. No, they lost a fortune. Haven't they just lose? You're not businessmen. You happen to have some money. So, what Alan said, top of the tree in your field. Stay in your own frigging field. Sweet, you'll be fine. You're top of your tree.
Mind you, on a personal note, it did me a favour because my old man was a jazz fan. So getting him to pay for albums by, say, You Lot, Slade, Lizzie, Queen, forget it. Especially not Queen, forget that.
Yeah, because of the name. They'll make you laugh.
Didn't like all that. But he took me to get some shoes for school, and there's a massive poster in the shot. Levi's quote. Oh, he said they've gone legit, and he bought me your album that Saturday.
You're not kidding. Fucking, have we gone legit?
They're in the
wow.
shoe shop. They must be legit.
Wow, that's even you didn't realise I could speak this much, and they told you I could, didn't they? Mm-hmm.
You're going to do a double live album and you choose Glasgow. Wasn't the old comedians thing in the 70s that everybody died in Glasgow? Basically?
Probably, but we were so... There was something with Glasgow. When we were younger, you was given extra money to go to Glasgow because you get beaten up. Unless they liked you. And they took to us. They took to us very early on for some reason. So that was the place where they knew the audience would be the most vociferous. And the balcony would bounce. There's shots of the balcony moving 3 feet. And in fact, in the middle of Roadhouse Blues at the time, I'd do and they'd all jump up and down. The crew and everybody would move from where the mixers were and go off to the side until that was finished. And then they'd come back on again. But lots of people think that's our best album, which I find so disappointing. I think it's fucking dreadful. I really do. And we did the 3 nights there, and we were all the first night was okay. So we thought all of us were convinced the third night had it. It was happening the third night as far as we. And I don't know where Nuff must have gone to Australia or disappeared somewhere at some time. I remember sitting with Rick, which was unusual for Rick to be involved in all that. And we sat listening to, I think it was a 2.5 hour show at the time. And we had to listen to 3 of them, and then got to the third one and realised the first one was the best one. There was just something about the first one. Perhaps that's why it's so popular. It's just Animal or something. But I don't think it's very good personally. I could never go around and say you should listen to that. No, I really couldn't play guitar at all well. And as I said, I'm a bit better now. But have you seen half the bloody kids about today? They're serious donkeys, not players. And I'll never catch them.
But it is thought of as one of the, I mean, along with things like Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous, Wings Over America, Kiss Alive 2, it's thought of as one of them great...
You're making me feel better, but I still don't believe it.
The honest truth, isn't that's what we talk about when we're having little fan conversations.
Yeah, but it's just me, I can't... I always find, I love Phil, and I love I never understand The Boys Are Back in Town, why it's so popular. It's his least favourite of his of mine. And that line, if the boys want to fight, you better let them. It's just, and that wasn't Philip to me. Philip was a really nice man, probably too, not rock and roll enough as a person. He was such a lovely man, and again, it's a terrible thing to say. The drugs got the worst of him. It fucking mullered him. This dad is broke a dad. It could speak or think of that dad. This dad is broke a dad. Loved him to death. That was an emotional moment, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's kind of like. Obviously, certainly our generation have read every rock biography, we've read all the books, we've read all the
still starting now, yeah, I like to read the biographies.
I found a quote from Les Gray in Melody Maker from '74, and he said, if Brian Conley or Keith Moon was to walk into the speakeasy, it was a good time to make your excuses, hire a cab and go home. Was it really as bad as we're told it was back in the '70s?
No, I don't think so. I tend to tell young people, stop reading all the... classic rock and all those mags, and the people who were reading the NME and that and the Melody Maker in the 70s, it was still PR bullshit, a lot of it, However, you did not want to be around if Mooney was going for it. Brian Connolly, all I know, he would just get so shit-faced. He was basically liquid. He came to see us once at Hammersmith. I think they were almost all over, I think. Well, it must have been the mess he was in. And he was just... It's so sad. I'm very anti-alcohol is what it's made me. And so many people become this... Either they think they're fab or they think they know it all. I think it's just... And alcohol does it every time. And he was quite a nice man until he had a drink. He was an arsehole. So I remember him as an arsehole, which is a shame. And that's a lot of people who drink. I remember them now as arseholes. And I'm probably wrong and I'm a little unfair like that, but... Most people that drink, and I go away, with people that drink and I'm gone. And that's at work too. Apart from Andrew Bown, he's sort of liquid himself, really. Liquid sister. But anyway, capacity.
Your next hit single is Wild Side of Life. Paul Gambaccini said to us the other week, he said, that to me is testament to the fact that he can pick them.
Wild Side of Life... When I said to you about Johnny and the Hurricanes, he took... He did Red River Rock, which was an old country song called Red River Valley. And when we did Wild Side of Life, before Rick joins, when I said we got back from Butlins, we had to do all sorts of stuff. We were Madeline Bell's backing band. We did stuff with Tommy Quickly and... What's that guy's name? Fuck it. Guy, Darryl. And Tommy Quickly was just a fucking mess. And we did the Belfry in Birmingham, and it was fucking dreadful. And I couldn't play the intro. It was done in the 60s style, you see. And the promoter at the time, or the bloke at the gig, came up, took him off the stage. He said, gave us the money. He said, you fucking lot pay him and I'll never let you near me again. We paid him. And he was wrong, we played there again. And I always thought it was such a lovely song. I never knew they were honky-tonk age. I might have known You'd Never Make a Wife, stuff like that. And... I just think it's a lovely song, and I still do. I still love it to death. And that's where I think some of the quote punters don't like me doing that country angle. And I still, and even Mike Paxton seems to think that it's gotten out to do with Quo. And everyone seems to have an idea of now of what is a Quo song and what isn't. If we do it, it's a Quo song, dickhead, wake up. They've said Army wasn't a Quo song. Yeah, it is. It's in the catalogue, unnoticed. And I find that with whatever we do, that it becomes this, whether it's the nasal noise or whether it's the thing of the guitars or a mixture of all those things. We are all those things. I don't believe we're a rock band. I don't believe we're a blues band, a country band, a pop band. We're a mixture of all those things, which is why I love it so much, because I love all of those forms of music. Actually, I like any form of music. If you put it, I don't know what it'll be. Oh, yeah, I like that. I think we could sit here with a bunch of music now. That if it's, I don't like much jazz, but I love Django Reinhardt. Or I always find something you like. It's music. I don't understand people say they like music, but not. Well, how do you know until you keep listening?